Hey everyone, welcome back to my version of 3D AutoCAD Part 3. Hopefully it's going to be a lot quicker and simpler for you guys to follow along with. And in fact, this part is a lot easier than the second part that we just did. So this should actually be pretty simple. Just for a quick overview, this is a 6-inch long. It goes 6 inches across, up an inch, over 3, up another inch, over 3, down 2. We're going to make that shape on the front view and make it 3 inches deep. And then we're going to draw these shapes and cut those things out. So that's just the general overview of how this project goes. So you're going to open up a new drawing. You're going to save your drawing as some sort of organized file name instead of just something random. We'll go 3D block. You can see I've done this a few times here. 3. And then add your last name and maybe a period. Just going to replace that file. Incredibly important that you do your best to remember to draw on the right surface. We're drawing the front of this block, so we got to choose front for this thing to work the right way, and then we can get going here with our lines. I'm going to draw a 6-inch horizontal line to start. 6, enter. If this is like this, by the way, at this point, get yourself zoomed in. That's your longest measurement. If you zoom in and really make it wide, it's not going to go any bigger than your screen at this point. So anyhow, I'm going to go up an inch, over 3 inches, up an inch, over 3 inches. Close this. This is actually really a pretty simple drawing. Okay, so again, I'm going to go in the same order here. I'm going to click my 3D Basics menu. I'm going to remember to join these objects before I try and do anything up here. I'm going to type the word join. Click up here, let go, and then click down there, and then hit enter. And it'll join all of your object lines, and they should all glow when you hover over one of them. At this point is when you want to press the shift key down, press the mouse wheel down as a click, and tilt this thing so you can see what's about to happen once it goes into 3D. And you click the extrude button, click the block, hit enter, go backwards 3 inches. 3, enter. Pretty simple. Okay, let's do this cut over here first, shall we? What I'm going to do is go back to my drafting and annotation commands here. It's best to change this to the top view before you zoom out and twist and start drawing. It tells the program roughly where you're about to try and draw. It helps. We're going to draw a cutout on the top view of this. So I have to go line. You want to hover over it so you can get it to identify the surface that you're trying to draw on. Then I'm going to use my polar tracking situation here. Then we're going to have a slot that's down the center of this. Let's see. I'm going to follow this line up and then type in 1, enter, and it's going to hop that line point beginning over an inch. And then I'm going to come up this way, make sure that green dotted line there is going in the right direction. Then I'm going to go up 2 inches, enter. I'm going to go 90 degrees to that, like so. Go over an inch. 1, enter. And then I have to connect it here. Make sure you're cautious about, ooh, that doesn't want to pick up my endpoint there. I don't like that. Actually, best in case scenario here, because this is a perfect example of it's not doing something, you could look at what your options are. If I just type in 2 and hit enter, it's going to dock that right on that endpoint because it's the same length of the other line that I drew. That's just something that became necessary. I haven't done this drawing in a while. I forgot, but I'm going to hit enter. No big deal. If you're in my class and looking at this, it's going to be a little bit easier for you, but you've got chamfers that are 1/4 inch setting distance here and here. So that means You drop this little arrow down, go to the chamfer tool, go to distance, and then type in 1/4, enter. And this is your first chamfer distance because you can change the distances and change the angles this way. You got to do it twice. 1/4, enter. And then you should be able to click here and there, and it'll do that chamfer. If you just try and do this again, it won't work. But it will hold on to the measurements that you just put in there, and you should be able to just click these two things again. It's always going to remember your previous distances that you entered. So if you do a distance setup with a chamfer, like we did here, you click the chamfer tool again, and the next time you click two lines, it's going to chamfer it the right way, or the same way it did the last time. If you're changing it somehow, you have to change that. All right, so let's see. I need to have a little line segment put in here also to complete this profile shape. Enter. And then remember, I'm going to do this join thing. Hit enter. In this case, what you want to do is make sure that you select just this line segment and click each of these individually to make sure that this works the right way, and then hit enter. And at that point, that's joined up. We're going to go into our 3D controls here, 3D basics. Click extrude. This should highlight as one solid object. Hit enter. You're going down 1 inch, 1, enter. Okay. Let's double check this and make sure it works out the right way when we actually do a subtract. Again, what's going to go on here is you have to take this, and right now it looks like it's cut out, but it's in wireframe, and if you go to conceptual, it's not actually going. So you have to do a subtract. You click subtract, you click the block that you're going to subtract from, and then hit enter, and then you have to click the shape. And this might be easier in wireframe. It's really tricky to click it and then hit enter. And you can even see it in conceptual that it removes it, which is nice. And so it's a little bit easier. I think it's a lot bit easier to draw in wireframe. I haven't gone over this yet. Some people have seen me change the view controls. I did this in just the last video, but there's view options that you can see little previews of here, but the same list exists right here. Conceptual is good for visualization. Seeing the 3D object hidden is good for printing it up. There's a bunch of different ways you can use these. Anyway, I'm going to go back to 2D wireframe. Now I'm going to be drawing on the front. I'm sorry. Technically, no. I'm going to be drawing on the right to do this. All right, so I'm going to draw this cut, this slot that has to go through the part on this upper surface right here. So it's easier to do this if you first go to the view, the first view that's to the right, even though this doesn't match yet. It's eventually going to, I think. Anyway, I'm going to press shift and tilt this a little bit so I can see where I'm actually drawing to make my life a whole bunch easier. All right, then I'm going to go back to my drafting and annotation menu. Okay, this is a relatively simple cut. There's it's 3 inches and the cut runs down the center inch. So you're going to pick up one of these lines. Doesn't matter which one. You pick up a corner, start tracking in the direction you want to go. It's got to be over an inch. 1, enter, and then I can go down. This again isn't picking up this, but this was a known measurement. The height of this block is an inch. So if I type in 1, enter, and then enter again, yeah, it's done. Right, then I'm going to draw another line in same way. Not really tracking it. You got to make sure you get that green dotted line so it's tracking. I'm going over an inch. 1, enter. And then I'm going down an inch. 1, enter. Okay, and then again, we need little line segments in here so we can select this entire cube. To remove it, I just hit enter. There's a little line segment there. Draw one more little line segment to complete that box. Enter. And then remember, I'm going to join my lines. You can do the join here or in the 3D, but J-O-I-N, enter. And then I'm going to select my 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, hit enter. All right, and then we're going to go to our extrude tool, which is in 3D Basics over here. And we're going to go to the extrude tool. We're going to click on this joined shape, hit enter. Start to go back, type in the measurement, which is 3 inches, 3, enter. So the cut is there, but it's not done entirely till we subtract it again. So the subtract is this. Click subtract, click the block that you're going to subtract from, hit enter, and then you got to find the shape that you're going to. This is finicky. Not much I can do about that, but just got to figure out how you can grab it. Oh my gosh. Click. There we go. I got it. Enter. And wipe it out. So you got to select it and then hit enter again. So you click the outside object, hit enter, click the inside object, hit enter again, and it's going to subtract. And that is the entirety of 3D4. All right, just again, if you want to see the nicest view, if you're ever going to print this up, we're going to go to hidden lines. I'm going to go back to my annotation menu, my drawing and annotation menu real quick, drafting and annotation. Click the text thing here. Get it to, whoa. Sorry, I'm going to change my view here so it makes it a little bit easier for the program to figure out what I'm trying to do. If I flip to the top view, I'm trying to put this on the top view, so it wasn't picking it up in the program. But now if I do this, there we go. If I put a text block in there from after clicking the top view and rotating it, and just use your naming convention. What I forgot to do was change this thing to the right size. Change it to 0.25 or 1/4 inch. And if you got to move it, click move, click the text, hit enter, click the text one more time, it'll grab it. You can center this thing up. If you'd like to change the font size, by all means, go for it. Ooh, my orientation. Put in a funny spot. There we go. Something I haven't been repeating a whole bunch is if you twice click with the mouse wheel, it'll give you a nice little zoom to the extent of whatever you've got going on your screen, so it looks the right way. Shows you all the information. I'm going to back out just a little bit so I can take a screenshot of this and post it as the title picture of my YouTube video. I will see you all soon. Have fun.